Grill Sergeant here, and we are back with another beef jerky recipe. And if you have a pellet smoker in your backyard, you are going to want to watch this one. We are going to go from start to finish on how to cut, season, marinate, and smoke the beef jerky. Today's recipe actually comes from a subscriber. He shared his recipe. It's going to be a little hot, it's going to be a little spicy, but what better to match this 105-degree Texas heat? Now, in the last jerky video, I had a local butcher help cut 1/4 inch strips, but to be honest, that was a little bit too thick. Thankfully, our friends over at VEVOR sent us this tabletop folding meat slicer and bread slicer. And so today, this is going to help us get the job done. Taking it out of the box, it had everything you needed to get up and running. Taking apart the parts and actually cleaning it was super simple. But instead of doing 1/4 inch strips, we're actually going to be making it even thinner, which I personally like for my jerky. We are going to be cutting it to 3/16 of an inch. And to me personally, that's just the perfect size for jerky. So in the description of this video, I will put the full recipe and how to. Now, before we whip out the ingredients, let's check out this meat grinder. The number one thing I really like about this is it actually folds up into a very slim design. So if you're trying to store this away, it folds up really nice and neat. On the back here, you do have a thin and thick, and this is basically the knob you're going to turn and adjust. And this actually moves this plate either forward or back, depending on how thick of a slice you want. It does come with 2 blades. This one is just the regular blade. It also does come with a serrated blade if you're cutting cheeses or breads. To get it off and on is really easy. You have this knob here. Basically pull and then it pops off. Easy to clean, easy to put back on. After just, checking this out a little bit, it seems very straightforward. These legs come down and it rests. All you have to do is plug it in, and then you have the tray that slides in over here. They did include this guard here, and that will basically hold on to the meat. And so you can basically run it while it's on. Now in the back here, you do have the on and off switch, but for a child safety device, you actually have to pull this lever in before you can actually engage the on button. Back here in the back is where you're going to see the knob if you want it thin or thick. So the first thing we're going to do right now is we are going to prep our meat. This is eye of round. It's a little over 2 pounds. And the recipe down below is actually going to cover 2 pounds of meat. Eye round is definitely a good choice just because it doesn't have a lot of intermuscular fat, and that is going to help with the beef jerky process, because as much as we like fat in our steaks, with beef jerky, the fat is what is going to have it spoil sooner. So with the little fat content here, that's actually a really good thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually set the depth of this backstop, and right now it is at 1/4. It goes about 3/4 as far as how thick you can cut this, but I'm trying to get 3/16. So now that I got the depth set correctly, we are going to run a few passes just to make sure it's the right thickness, and then we can actually either make it thinner or thicker. And for the flat side, I'm actually just going to put this right here. So here is the beef jerky. That's pretty good. I like that. It's not too thin, not too thick. I think that will do.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
All right, we got our beautiful beef jerky. Now, let's make the marinade. All right, so get yourself a pot. We're gonna put the ingredients in here. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 3 teaspoons of cayenne, 1 teaspoon of MSG, 2 tablespoons of W sauce Fireshire. And this stuff has a crazy good kick to it. 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 3/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of pepper flakes. All right, we're going to turn our burner on and we're going to bring this up to a simmer. And as it's coming up to temp, we are basically going to stir. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to get it off the burner and let it cool. So we have our beef jerky, we have our marinade that's now cooled down. All we need now is a 1-gallon Ziploc bag and a glove if you don't want to get your hand dirty. So let's combine all these, baby. Woo! We're going to get our glove on. I have my Ziploc bag handy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to dunk each one. And this is going to help ensure the marinade gets on every single one. And then we're going to pour this mixture into this bag. You can dump it all in at once, but this was recommended like this way. So we're just going to follow the directions. All right, we have our beef jerky in here. I'm going to get the remaining that's in here. There's a little bit left, but we want to make sure that we get as much as we can. I am going to go in here and then just do one last mix around. Now I am going to try and get as much air out as I can, kind of distribute the beef jerky throughout the bag. This is going to go into the refrigerator for about 24 hours. At the 12-hour mark, I will flip it like so, and that's going to help the marinade and seasoning go back down. And we just want to make sure that all that goodness is permeating throughout this bag. Let's get this in the refrigerator. All right, we got the beef jerky in the fridge. I'll see you guys in 24 hours. All right, it's been 24 hours. Now it's time to get the jerky into the smoker. As far as the pellet smoker today, we are using the Pit Boss Pro Series Elite Vertical 6 Series smoker. And if you're not subscribed to this channel already, I would encourage you, because after this, we are going to be doing a comparison between electric smoker, pellet smoker, and charcoal kettle to see, for making jerky, which one is going to impart the best flavor. So stay tuned for that. Now, as far as fuel goes, I'm going to be using 2 parts oak to 1 part pecan. Now, my hopper is currently empty, and so I'm actually going to be putting 60 pounds worth of pellets in the hopper. So the main tool that is going to help us out is a sifter. This is 1/4 inch for the screen size. I will leave an Amazon link so you can check this out. So I have a 40-pound bag of oak. I have a 20-pound bag of pecan. We're going to mix these together. So I have a clear bucket here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the oak pellets and we are just going to dump these all into the clear tub. Here is 20 pounds of pecan. Now I'm going to take my scoop, hopper open. So what I'm going to do is scoop these into here. And what I'm going to do is just shake them over themselves. And it's fine that the loose debris is falling down, because I'm just going to keep on sifting. And then once that's sifted through, I'm just going to put it in the hopper. We're just going to continue this process till we're done with 60 pounds. And done. That was a workout for sure. But now my hopper is extremely full, and we have all this pellet debris that did not hit the hopper. Also, a tip that I learned from another subscriber is don't throw this stuff away. You can actually use it to put in your smoke tube. You can use it to throw in a kettle just to add some extra smoke fire if you wanted to throw these on charcoal. So definitely, this does not have to go to waste. Let's get the smoker fired up. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the power button, And then I did put some fresh pellets in the auger. That is going to help with a quicker startup time. And once we actually have a fire in the burn pot, that's when we're going to close her down, raise up the temp. Now I'm going to fill up the water pan and then put a drip sheet in here. All right, I am going to put the drip sheet right in here. We're going to have the beef jerky on top. All right, I am hearing a fire in the burn pot, so we are going to close her down. And as far as temp goes, we are going to raise the temperature up to 165. All right, let's prep this beef jerky. We have our marinated beef jerky right here. I have some towels here. Open the bag up and we'll take a piece out. Basically, we're just patting it dry. You don't really want to wipe any of the seasoning off. And then we will place it on top of one of the racks. And then you do want to space them out so that smoke can get all around them. All right, now in the recipe, it calls for granulated honey. I couldn't find any locally in time, so I am going to be using brown sugar, but it's basically light coating of one side of the beef jerky. It's gonna add a little sweetness to pair with the heat. I am going to turn it to super smoke. We're gonna bathe these things in smoke for about 3 hours. So we'll check back in 3 hours.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
All right, it's been 3 hours. Let's go check on this beef jerky. All right, here is our beef jerky. And I'm gonna show you how to actually see if the beef jerky is done. And you don't want it to snap in half. You want it to bend and you want to see these white fibers. Now I like my beef jerky tender, so this is perfect for me. If you want a little bit more bite to it, you can leave it in the smoker longer. All right, so now let's plate these up. And we're gonna let it rest for about 20 minutes. And then after that, we're gonna put them in a Ziploc bag. And that's it. I got my bag of beef jerky, so I am good to go. But you know what? Let's do a taste test. You gotta always do a taste test, right? Ooh. That is some really, really good heat. Not as sweet as I thought it was gonna be, but I'm not complaining either. I actually like my stuff to actually have a kick to it. This is really, really good. Ridiculously good. Ridiculously easy to make. Thank you, Vivore, for sending the meat slicer. If you are interested in getting one for yourself, I will put a discount code in the description as well, so you can score yourself one. Now, if you want to make some jerky with less of a kick to it, I will post a link in the description for the first jerky video that we did, and that one was just had so much flavor to it. Really wasn't spicy, so it was good for the kids. But I don't know, man, this is pretty good. And I like it that it's thinner than what my butcher could have done, so I am a fan of having it a little bit thinner than the 1/4 thick. Woo! Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing the recipe. That was awesome. And that's about it. Cheers.